Hi, this is Merrill with Tax Tutor. We wanted to talk about a special tax account. We call it the Holy Grail of tax accounts because it has 3 tax benefits. There is no other account that I know of that has 3 tax benefits. The first one of the tax benefits is that there's a deduction for contributions going into the account. The second benefit is that contributions into that account grow tax-free, which means you are not taxed on the growth that happens inside that account as that growth is happening. And then number 3 is that when you take money out of that account and use it for a specific purpose, you are not taxed on the money that comes out of that account. This account is called a health savings account or an HSA. And it gets all 3 of those benefits as long as the money that comes out, as long as you use it for medical benefits or medical expenses, you are not taxed on the money that you pull out of that account. Now, these accounts can be set up for a single individual or for a family, depending on your situation and who you're covering with those accounts. The first hurdle that we run into is that you have to have a high deductible health plan in order to qualify to have a health savings account. So you'll want to check with your employer if you get your health insurance through your employer, or check with your plan administrator. Sometimes it says specifically on the plan, HSA compatible. So check your plan and see if it will work with an HSA. If it does, then you can set up an HSA account. Now, you can go and set up the HSA account through your employer if your employer offers one. But you don't have to use an employer account. Like me personally, like I get my health insurance through my company, but I actually have my HSA set up through an HSA plan just by myself, through my own personal name. So you can go out and do that. If you want to know where to set that up, you can just do like a simple Google search and say, set up HSA plan, and places will pop up that you can set up. And once you make the contributions into that plan, you'll take a deduction on your tax return. And then, like we said, it grows tax-free in there. And then when you pull it out, as long as it's taken out with and used for medical expenses, then you pay no tax on that. Now, it must be used for qualified medical expenses, and that would exclude medical premiums, so you can't pay your medical insurance premiums with an HSA. But anything that would qualify as like an itemized deduction, and you can check like the IRS regulations. If you were to do like a Google search for what is a qualified medical expense, what's an itemized medical expense, what's a qualified HSA expense, there's a ton of them, way more than we can cover in this video. If you did like a Google search for those, you would come up with a whole list of things, like multiple pages of items that can be covered with that. And then it's really simple because you just put the money into that plan and then you can use it for medical expenses at any time. You can also use it to reimburse yourself for past medical expenses. So let's say last year you incurred $3,000 in medical expenses. You can actually put money into an HSA and pull it back out to reimburse yourself for prior year medical expenses as well. And then, of course, it would cover future medical expenses. You can put that money in there. If you don't have any medical expenses now, you put the money in, you get the deduction, you let it grow tax-free, and then down the road, maybe you've got some medical expenses that come up, especially as you get older. You could use it for nursing homes and other things that might happen later on in life. The other important thing to note on an HSA is that you cannot contribute to an HSA if you are on Medicare. You can take money out of an HSA and use it for medical expenses, money that you put in to the HSA before you were on Medicare, but once you are on Medicare, you can no longer put money into an HSA, so it's important to try to max out your contributions into the HSA before you go on Medicare. And so that covers everything on HSAs, a health savings account. And if you're looking for more tax advice and more tax help, you make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel here, and you can visit us at taxtutor.com and sign up for our weekly newsletter.